Good morning. It's about 10:30 in the morning, and we're starting at the top of the road. We're going to look at all the plantings going down. So here you see where the tarmac has been totally eroded, but it's been eroded from heavy trucks. We have two new houses going up around the bend on the dirt part of the road, and they're big, heavy trucks. I don't know if they're taking dirt in or bringing stone in or taking stuff out, but their trucks have been tearing up our road, and apparently somebody has documented it well enough that the contractors are building into the price of these houses money for repair of the road, and that would be brilliant. As you know, it can be tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, so we see hydrangeas here, and we see a couple walking their dog up the road here. I will avoid them. Good morning. Good morning. I won't film you.
Sorry?
I filmed you from so far away nobody could see who you were.
Perfect.
Okay? We have a YouTube channel.
I know, you told us. Check it out.
Okay. Thank you. So we have money plant going to seed. I don't know what that tiny flower is, but that's something. Now the lupines are done, and they've gone to seed. And look at these furry little seed pods. They must have reseeded them from last year, because Larry put some out here and now we have lots and lots of them. See those seeds in there? You come out and collect those and spread them around. So I don't know how he got all these hydrangeas to put out here. Those are expensive plants. I wonder if he got babies from alongside the big ones. So here's a hosta, and it's thrown up probably a 3-foot high flower stems, and flowers have not opened yet. Some of them down the way have. Here's some that have opened. And they'll last for, I don't know, they'll last for quite a bit of time. I see you planted a grass over here. That's nice. We need things along here that, you know, are perennial and keep coming back, because we're getting older, and my brother had a stroke last year, and even though he's 98% back, you know, his stamina is, and he says all of his joints hurt now, so he's not doing quite as much, especially those things that require great agility and strength. Okay, so you can see that we're in a phase here where things are in between. Oh my goodness, there's an ivy growing up. Look at that. Ivy growing up I think that was a digitalis plant. Isn't that interesting? Lessons to be learned that the desire to live is incredibly strong in the plant and animal world. Now this is my neighbor's hill with these beautiful grasses, and I can see them from my veranda, and I really love the view, and I'm really not keen on planting anything close that will. Oh, here's a nice stand of this. Oh my goodness, look at this. We have a Lenten rose that's still blooming. Isn't that incredible? That has to be several months. Okay, I realize this is not as exciting as it was when I brought you out the last time. But, oh, So we're going to get down into more of the, where my part of the garden. This big stand is forsythia. Brilliant yellow in the, look at this. This is Persian blue. I think I've miscalled it a time or two. Or is it French blue? French blue, I think. And I've been gifted 3 of these. The last 2 were those tiny babies down there, but even the second one's putting out flower. Quite lovely. And I think they must be the kind that maintain their color regardless of the soil. I don't know if enough about our soil here to know whether it's acid or alkaline, but there's an awful lot of plant material in it, so I expect it's acid. Laura lives on that western Oregon, and her soil is incredibly alkaline, 9 or to 11, I think, when they checked it. So this is the No-No garden, and you can see it's filling in. The petunias are going to town, and the dipped in wine colia. And these will start blossoming out pretty soon. Oh, here's another beautiful colia. This is from the Color Blaze series. They do well in shade and sun. And every time I plant one of the other ones, I regret it. But one place I didn't want them to get so tall, you know? Okay, so we moved this down here because we couldn't see it anymore because the hydrangeas were so big. So we moved this blue pot down here and can't see it because of the shrub that's coming back. We think it might be a butterfly, but I'm not sure. Whatever this is, we may end up cutting it to discuss that with my brother. But we'll look at the garden from the top here. The Stilbees. They were supposed to be knee-high from the pictures. Bare roots. Last time I buy anything, bare root, I think. So you can see the hostas have all got those beautiful flowers on them now. And my cannas are about 2/3 the height that they should be. And it's because they don't get enough sun, so they're a little bit slower growing. And below that rock is where the hornet's nest was in the railroad ties, and I got stung 3 times. That was a peak experience. Just gonna plant some plan on pulling out more of the money plant. Pulled out some and stacked it up there. But you see that fresh bed of green and white hostas between the 2 trees? They are doing fantastic. They have not skipped a beat since I separated them out from the driveway. Okay, let's walk back. I need to add more dirt here, and I do have some babies I could separate out. But boy, they have really good root systems. I separated out one from one of my pots. Boy, that was a job. Okay, and here's an oak leaf, and it's probably tripled in size since I bought it a couple years ago when I was in Rehoboth. My sister-in-law says that this is a wild coral bell, heuchera. Because I was thinking about moving it down with the rest of them. It seems to be doing all right. We just might leave it alone. Now I want you to see these hydrangeas here. These blue is just incredible. And of course, we've got dappled light, which makes some of it look as dark as it is and some of it as light as it is. Now, this hydrangea almost every winter gets the tips burnt from the frost, and that turns to jelly. This year I came back and cut off, the 5 or 6 inches that was damaged by the frost, and it reflushed. They always reflush, but it's a beautiful, beautiful plant. So we have hardy begonias, and these are self-seeded from last year when we had them planted in the pot. See how prolific they are? I've had to pull some away, cut some away from the front, because this is one of those pots that we're shining our light on. And this makes like a huge spotlight for the traffic at night. And it lasts probably, I don't know, midnight. Now this is my new pride and joy. This is the heuchera bed, coral bells. And I had planted some of them too close together, so I pulled them up and planted them other places. And I had 3 new ones to plant. So I've just been out here and watering because I did it yesterday and watered heavily, and I'm going to water for 2 or 3 days really heavily. These 3 purple ones up here are new ones. Red, kind of red, really quite something. Okay, well, let's see. So this is the Q bed. This is where all the hundreds of daffodils were. And now we have the hardy begonias. And when I first moved here, I invested in Proven Winners. And I have 3 of these. And they've taken their time bulking up. They have the tiniest pretty leaves. There's 4 of them in here. And I also bought I think it was called a lily of the valley bush, something like that. And I think there's might still be in here, but they're small. I think there's 1 over there. We'll investigate another day. That's not what this visit's about. This is an impatient plant that I cut back from last year, and it's starting to do all right, but it isn't getting enough sun, so I've moved it out here. This whole row of Scotch and Irish moss has these hostas in it, and they put up pretty flowers too. Okay, we're gonna go up and investigate all of our baby impatiens that are growing. Look at that. See? Those are reseeded from last year, and we finally got enough warmth that they're growing, and they're growing fast. And look, here's one's already got a blossom on it. You see that? Isn't that incredible? Well, that's going to fill in for when my violas and pansies bite the dust. Wouldn't it be nice if my violas seeded and grew plants? Would you look at how much they're growing? Look at that. Now, if I get myself together, I'm going to come out and separate. Look at how small that plant is. It already has a blossom on it. I'm going to come out here and spread these out a little bit so I have nice coverage. So check out these hostas and all their blooms on them. And the color keeps going up. You know, they're like these stems. They grow taller and taller and more blooms at the top. I wish I knew what to do with these, because when I come back after they're all done and cut these stems way back, they are really stiff and strong. I mean, I thought maybe I could weave them into something, but they're almost too stiff for weaving. But it'd be fun to repurpose them somehow or another. That looks like a penstemon. Now this bed has been really brilliant. This is when you know you did something right. So these are, and look at how they've gotten really tall, and they've filled in a total blanket of color. And they've gotten at least 2 or 3 times taller, so I can really see them from my kitchen and living room windows, which pleases me to no end. Okay, so I've pulled some of these. I think I'm going to pull most of them because they'll come back regardless. And this is the hosta bed that we did, instead of putting red dragon begonias in here. And they'll be good from year to year. I won't have to come out and do so much. I still haven't figured out what to plant behind my water feature. Somebody recommended a maple, those red maples that grow in the shade really well and grow very slowly. I'd want one that kind of shrouded this whole area without overwhelming it in any shape or form, and I just really can't see it for some reason or other happening. I just think it'd be too much at some point. So this is taking its time. This doesn't get as much sun, so this is taking its time to thicken out. And but you see, even these, as little sun as they're getting, they're putting out more growth from the base. So this will all come up and thicken out and fill in, and we'll have a blanket out here. This is such a beautiful little spot to be seen from this bedroom window. I like there to be a pretty view from every window of the house. I had a friend in Woodstock, New York, incredibly interesting man, and he had built serious views and from every window. It was like a painting, specially organized. Okay, so let's look here. This is our petunia that everybody loves from Proven Winners. And they can get 3 foot wide and be really full of blossoms. And I don't think this is getting enough sun. So maybe I have to move it up near the heuchera bed. Maybe that gets a little bit more sun. So these are some double pink impatiens that I kept over from last year. I put a coley in the center, thinking that would be my thriller, but it's kind of overwhelmed. This poor plant is, I don't know. This is starting to green up. It had an awful lot of yellow. It's a shade plant. I've forgotten the name of it. And since I've been fertilizing it, it has, the leaves are greening up. But I need to come in and trim it. We'll do that one day. This is one of those lovely begonias that everybody loves. Now we're going to watch this. This is our, oh, it's not a coleus. This plant I planted last year up in front of the hostas, and it never got any bigger than it was when I planted it. They didn't die, but they didn't get any bigger. So I don't know. I've put them in pots this year, and we'll see what they do. I have another squash and a couple of broccoli plants I've been gifted, and I've got to figure out where to put them. I really don't want to take them down to the garden. So this is a Rex begonia that just died. Got No rhyme or reason. No rhyme or reason. Okay. The rhododendrons are doing great. One thing I want to point out to you is that these leaves are years and years old. So unless they get diseased or eaten by something, they just don't fall off all that much. Yes, we do have some dead leaves here, okay? We do have some. But these do not drop their leaves in the wintertime, okay? They just don't. And, you know, I'm getting to where I wonder just exactly how old are the leaves on these shrubs. Okay. Now these azaleas are too close to the steps, and they never get enough natural rainwater. And they've looked really scrubby ever since I moved in here. And I've been working at watering them, and they've put out a whale of a lot more flowers every year, and they're actually sickening out. You see, they're sickening out. Because now's when it puts on fresh growth. You can see some fresh growth. And it's putting on its buds for next spring. Okay, we're going to look at the rail boxes down here on the deck, on the lower level of the house. The Swedish ivy's going crazy. I need to come in and make more cuttings. I have more places I want to spread it around. Well, I planned on taking that plant and repotting it, but I don't know.